Hey, what's up, everybody? BD44 coming at you with another video. All right, so early in the morning, we got a couple things to talk about on the NBA. First off, it's been reported Dwight Howard's going to be looking for somewhere else to play. He's not going to be turning to the Lakers this go round. I think it's probably for the best. We set him most of the time. I'm pretty sure he can find a better place to find playing time this stage in his career. He's still got a little bit left, I believe. Couple rebounds in him, couple good dunks, good block here and there. He's still serviceable enough. He takes great care of himself. So he's not one of those players that I was looking at saying, "Oh my God, why are we bringing this old guy back?" If anything, the complaint about Dwight was that he wasn't on the floor. He never did anything that we weren't happy about. I don't remember him having a bad game because he only played about 3 games. Coach Vogel never played him, and it was why we sucked as bad as we were. It, our problems, in my opinion, had more to do with Dwight Howard not playing basketball than probably anything else the Lakers really had a problem with. I think that was our biggest problem. The majority, probably 55%, because majority, it doesn't have to be much, but I'd say 55% of the problem the Lakers had last year was us not playing Dwight Howard. Because a lot of times we would go without rim protection, and that was really the problem that we had in just about 90% of the games we played. And if you guys follow me, I covered every single one of them. Every single one of them. All of them. All 82, if I'm not mistaken. If I missed a game or two, I don't think it did. Not last season. And I'm telling you, the complaint every night was rim protection or DeAndre Jordan is playing over Dwight Howard. That was the problem. Everything else just fell into place after that. Once you take away rim protection, then you have all kinds of problems. So that's what we had. That was why we sucked as bad as we did. I personally think we make the playoffs if we played Dwight Howard a heavy dose of minutes for the majority of the season. Small ball was our problem. So I don't blame him for wanting to get out of here after 2 tenures. Hell, every tenure he's had hasn't gone as good as he would want it to do. He's been great, but you figure the championship year, we had him sitting a whole playoff series against the Rockets in the bubble, which made sense, but it's like he had to sacrifice that. Of course, you look back in the past, you remember the soft era. Got past that, and then this last year, where he was really excited about coming here, and we didn't even have a role for him, even though we needed him. So it was just a very strange situation. I definitely don't blame him for looking for a different place to play this go round when it seems like the Lakers are kind of going younger. I think it's in our best interest to go younger for sure. Given the fact of what we know about the NBA these days and traditional centers, the game is kind of getting away from traditional centers in a way, so we do need to continue to look for prototypes that fit what we're going to be facing in the league. So I don't necessarily think Dwight Howard is not someone who could help us, but looking for something that fits more so what we're trying to do going forward in that position, or in that roster spot rather, it's the way to go. It's the way to go. So I'm not upset. Thank you, Dwight Howard. You know what I'm saying? NBA champion for the Lakers 3 times over in terms of tenures here. We're very happy Dwight is part of what we do, in that when it's all said and done, we got nothing but great things to say about Dwight. And if for some reason he comes back around, whether it's a player or a coach or a conditioning coach or whatever, I'm pretty sure we'll be very happy to welcome him back. 100% of that. So that's the first thing. The next thing is the Lakers are linked to Mo Bamba. Now, we've talked about this for years, literally years. I want Mo Bamba on this team. I've wanted Mo Bamba on this team back when he was averaging 4 points a game. Because in my mind, you don't wait for a player like that to get good enough for you to say, I want him. You treat him like Max Christie, you bring him in early. So while we're on board with that type of thinking now, and I'm glad we're doing it, I wish we would have been on board with it back when this guy was a youngster, and we could have got him for a second-round pick, because he wasn't worth anything for the first couple years of his career. He was injured a lot of time. He rendered himself behind the perimeter a little too much for a lot of people's liking. He was buried behind other people playing the position for the most of his career as well. So you got all those things working against him, and you can clearly see if he ever got minutes and a good role, his trajectory and his value was going to go up. So to me, it was a no-brainer. We should have picked this kid up back then and just let him be a a project. And you know what? I kind of feel the same way. When I look at this situation, I kind of feel the same way about all these tall, lanky dudes. Now that I know that Victor Wembanyama is on the way, I want Taco Fall. I want Bol Bol. I want the kid out of Philippines that everybody's going crazy about just because of the length, man. Like, seriously. Just because of the length. We could put them kids on the G League, and if they suck, so be it. But my thing is, get as many of those guys as possible. Get as many of those ridiculously long, tall guys as possible. Because when Victor gets here, you're gonna need them. You're gonna need them. This is not a game at all. We need to start preparing for him just like everybody else does. And so, yeah, that's something I wanted to say. I think Mo Bamba picking him up at this price, I don't know what the price will be, but I think we'll give him our mid-level. Certainly don't have a problem with that. So that's a good move if we can get him for that price. But if he comes more expensive than that, then obviously we're going to miss out. But this is what we need to do. I really think we need to try to get somebody on our team of that ridiculous length. I don't know if those guys could play. I say Taco Fall. I know he's a prospect that doesn't really get a whole lot of playing time. But Bol coming off injury, he's where Bamba was 3 years ago when I told us to go get him. That's where Bol is. You get him in your situation, and you just hatch him. I think he's in Boston right now, so I'm pretty sure they're not going to let him go. They're probably thinking like I am. But that's what needs to happen. You got to get guys like that to get prepared for what's coming. Evan Mobley, you got a whole nother fleet of these young Anthony Davis, Giannis type guys that are just now going to be entering the league over the next 3 years. Length is more important than it ever has been before. Way more important. So, yeah, that's something we need to do. Get Mo Bamba on this team. Isaiah Hartenstein is somebody I heard the Lakers might be looking at. You guys are Stein, I believe. Definitely pick him up. You guys know I've been a fan of his since he was the last guy on the bench of the Cleveland Cavaliers. I knew he was good then, about 3 years ago. So at this point, seeing him progress into a player that's slowly but surely making a name for himself as a role-playing center, I know where he's headed from here. He's going to get a lot better than that, in my opinion. So it's time to pick him up. It's time to get that dude on your roster. I'm surprised the Clippers didn't keep him. They probably should have. So that's somebody I'm looking at. He could do a lot of things people don't know he can do. And at the center position, like a Mason Plumlee, he can really help you from other areas. Passing, rebounding, stuff like that. I like the player. So I hear we're also linked to Otto Porter Jr. That's definitely somebody we need to be picking up. That's a no-brainer. So, who knows if we actually get these guys, but they're guys we're looking at on our list. There's been some guys on the list that we don't think are really as possible, I guess you could say. It doesn't look as realistic to get some of those guys, but there are other names out there that maybe if we can create space with the Westbrook contract somehow moving, we'll really be able to open up things for ourselves in building some of these role players to be Lakers. But that doesn't look like that's going to happen unless Westbrook is moved like literally today. So, yeah. What else? T.J. Warren is a guy we're linked to. And the thing about T.J. Warren is he's a really, really talented scorer. You don't have to question whether or not he can score the basketball. He can roll out of bed and get buckets. Problem is, if he rolls out of bed, he's going to get hurt. It's that simple. He's one of the most injury-prone players in all of basketball. So if you add him to your situation, do expect him to miss pretty much the entire season. It's just where he's at. It's where he's always been. Some guys, I am truly certain their bodies just are not meant for the NBA basketball. Their talent let them play, but they can only give you about 20 games, and after that, their body's shut down. He's one of those. So just be prepared for that. That's just what it's always been for him. But if he's healthy, within them 20 games, one of them 20 games is going to be a 35, 40-point game. That's what it is. But throughout the majority of that contract, he ain't going to even be on the floor. So he's a no for me. Carmelo Anthony, of course, is somebody we could bring back. I'm trying to go younger. I'm not even going to hold you. I liked what Melo did for us last year, but I hated how he was targeted defensively. That's not somebody I'm looking at this year. But don't be surprised if we bring him back because of the Bron factor. Don't be surprised. But I would use that roster spot on somebody else, younger, keep the vision alive for youth. Who else? Kobe White as a trade partner. THT for Kobe White is something I've been hearing a lot about. I like Kobe White a lot. I always have. If you guys follow me, I've been waiting for the Bulls to create a role for Kobe White so that he could just not think about facilitating the basketball and just shoot. Yes, last year they created that role for him, and then they threw about 4 guards on top of that. So he needs the hell out of Chicago, along with 2 or 3 of those guards, personally, since they want to pay Zach LaVine like they don't have guards everywhere. I would love for us to snatch Kobe White out of Chicago and just give him a role that allows him to be a scoring point guard, not looking to do anything but that. Just like the role I want Kyrie to have if he's here, same type of role I want Kobe White to have. The only thing he should really have to think about is scoring the perimeter as much as he wants to, basically. If I'm going to empower Kobe White to be himself, I'm giving him as many 3-point shots to shoot as possible, and I'm living him with the results, because that's where he seems like he's at his best. When he gets a chance to get in rhythm, he starts getting bouncy, then other aspects of his game starts opening up. Sort of like I understand Christie, same way. Once that jump shot starts falling, then other things start opening up. So I like those kind of players around LeBron James. Most of the time I hate those kind of players, but around LeBron James, that's where they're at their best. Give me all the Jamal Murrays, all the Kobe Whites, all the Kyrie Irvings, any of the score first guys, Dame Lillard. Those are the guys that I think go well with LeBron. So that's a no-brainer. I would be happy bringing in Kobe White. I don't know at that price, because to be honest with you, Kobe White wants hot and cold. It's one of those situations where either he's going to give you 30 points or he's going to give you 6 or he's hurt. Now, he's still developing, so I think he's going to get a lot better from here, which is why I'm excited about him. But he's a project for now, and I still don't think he's going to be no superstar or no star. He's a role player with 6-man potential, or maybe starter's potential, scoring the basketball. And then if he fully develops, I think he can maybe make an all-star team at some point. But he has to get into a role that allows him to flourish, and then from there, he's going to have to learn how to be a big-time player in that role. So I just think he landed in the wrong spot in Chicago, and he's been there the whole time. That's all I think. And hopefully we can get him, honestly. Hopefully we can get him. Now, for THT's contract, again, I'm not sure if that's right value for Kobe White. I would rather have THT as a prospect, because THT can do more for me, honestly. He can help me in other areas. He's a bigger player. Defensively, he can help me much more defensively. So I look at him as a better prospect than Kobe White overall, but that doesn't mean I don't want Kobe White on this team. Doesn't mean that at all. Especially if we're losing Malik Monk. Definitely want a player like that. Excuse me. So, what else? What else are we talking about? I've rendered it basically Lakers only. So, yeah, I think I'll leave it there. I need to drink some water anyway, get my voice back, get ready for whatever the day is going to bring, I believe. Free agency starts today, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. Don't quote me on that. You might want to check, but it's 3 p.m. one of them. So if it ain't 3 here, it's 3 there. So, sorry. But that's what we got, man. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching.